At some point in your life, you're going to realize something uncomfortable. Not everyone wants you to grow. Some people liked you better when you were quieter, smaller, easier to understand. And the moment that you start changing, you start setting boundaries, healing, standing up for yourself, and dreaming bigger, they don't cheer. They get uncomfortable. But that discomfort, it's not your problem, and it's also not your responsibility. Hi, I'm Essence, and I make videos for those of you that are done waiting on motivation, done waiting on approval, and done waiting for the perfect timing. Here we focus on showing up, building ourselves, and growing quietly and slowly, but consistently. No fluff, just real talk about mindsets, building habits, and becoming the person that your dreams require you to be. Before we get into the video, I just want to say thank you guys so much for 100 subscribers. That really, really touches my heart, and I'm really glad to have a voice on this platform and be able to touch the hearts of some of you guys. So, thank you so much, and if you love my content, make sure to subscribe and continue to watch. Here's the truth that no one prepares you for. People get attached to the version of you that they could understand. The version of you that didn't question things, the version of you that over-explained, the version that made space for everybody else but never asked for too much. So when you start changing, and not in a loud way or an arrogant way, but in a grounded, self-respecting way, it throws them off. Because now they can't predict you. They can't control you the same way or rely on you in the same ways that they used to. And that makes people uncomfortable. Not because you're doing something wrong, but because your growth forces people to adjust the way that they see you. And not everyone's willing to do that kind of work. Sometimes people aren't reacting to you, they're reacting to what your growth highlights in them. When you start chasing your goals and showing discipline and showing up for yourself and chasing your dreams, it can remind people of dreams that they abandoned and the boundaries that they never set and the courage that they never chose. And instead of facing that discomfort, it's way easier to project that onto you. They might say things like, "You've changed and you're acting different. You think you're better now? Why can't you just stay the same?" But here's the thing, growth always looks threatening to those that are afraid to evolve. Your progress becomes a mirror, and not everybody likes to see what is mirrored back. This is important, so really hear this when I say it. You are not responsible for making yourself small so that other people can feel comfortable. If someone benefited from you having no boundaries, from you doubting yourself, and from you staying stuck and quiet or unsure, your growth is going to feel like a loss to that person. But that doesn't mean you're doing something wrong. That means that the dynamic is changing. And change is uncomfortable for the people that enjoy this version of you, this older version of you that lived in the same old patterns and didn't have boundaries, like I said, especially if this version of you made their lives easier. You don't owe anyone access to the version of you that was still hurting. Growth isn't betrayal, healing isn't abandonment, and choosing yourself isn't selfish. It's necessary. Here's how you know that you're on the right path. The right people, they may need time, but they grow with you. They ask questions, they support you, and they celebrate your evolution even if it means challenging themselves. The wrong people, they resist and they guilt trip and minimize your progress, and they try to pull you back into the person that you used to be. And that's the part that hurts the most, probably, is realizing that not everybody can come with you. But outgrowing people doesn't mean that you failed the relationship. It just means that the season changed and you're allowed to keep going. Growth will always cost you something. Sometimes familiarity, sometimes comfort, and sometimes people. But it always gives you back yourself. If your growth is making people uncomfortable, that doesn't mean that you're doing too much. It usually means that you're finally doing enough for yourself. You're allowed to evolve. You're allowed to change your mind. You're allowed to become someone that your past doesn't recognize. And you don't have to explain your growth to people that aren't growing with you. If this video resonated with you, make sure that you're subscribed, and I post 2 times a week here, all things about mindset, healing, and becoming the version of yourself that you're meant to be. Thanks for being here, and I'll see you in the next one.